What's kicking in your ear is something so flavorous.
Bruh.
What's kicking in your ear is something so flavorish, more impactful for example, we touching topics that
Hey everyone, welcome back to another segment of the Gimme Mo After Show. Hey, the Gimme Mo After Show. You got some rhythm now, sis.
Thank you, I've been working on it.
Well, all right. I'm Aurini.
I'm Kaija, and on this episode of
Cut all that. This episode is what it means to be a gentleman. First things first, sis.
Yeah,
Do you have a man?
that's a little intrusive to my
What is-
personal life.
It's,
But the answer is no. I'm single. Like a Pringle.
okay, nobody says. That's probably why you're single, because no one says like a Pringle, like 5-year-olds. Sis.
I was just emphasizing how single I am.
Bet.
Aurini. What about you?
I am, but it's by choice.
Okay. All right. How do you define a gentleman?
I think it's very important for a gentleman to respect not only his friends and the people who he knows personally, but all the people around him. Just being considerate and aware, because it's very typical man, you know, to like not even be aware of the things that are going on around you and just kind of like zone in on what you want to see happen or like what you want to do.
Being respectful, being kind. He's confident, but not overly so, if that makes sense.
Honestly, it could all be so simple. Just open my doors, all of them. The car door, the restaurant door. Pull out my chair every so often, occasionally, you know, it surprised me a little bit. And buy me shoes. Size 9.5, 10 in European. And we good.
Wow.
It doesn't take much. I think that being a gentleman, in all seriousness, is preference. What works for some people and what some people think being a gentleman is like may not be what someone else may think being a gentleman means. Can we agree on that?
Yeah. For me, I just need a Prince Charming.
Need. She said need.
I do. I know what I need.
Oh my God.
I need a Prince Charming. Sweep me off my feet.
I don't need a prince. I need a king. He needs to be a black king. No, I'm just kidding. I mean all races. Just a little disclaimer there.
Okay. Well, yeah, for me, I just grew up being taught that gentlemen need to sweep me off my feet. I mean, I grew up watching Disney movies. I am, what is it called? What is it called?
Hopeless romance.
Yes, there we go. All right, sorry. I'll take it from there. I couldn't think of it.
You cannot be it. No, we're keeping
I
that.
couldn't think
You
of it.
cannot be it if you don't know how to say it or pronounce it. Or spell it.
Okay,
Spell hopeless.
this one. I'm a hopeless romantic. I grew up watching Disney movies. Speaking of Disney, I thought it was really cool on this episode that Monique got to talk to my first ever crush, Corbin Blue.
What do you think it means to be a good guy?
I remember my mom was always raising me to be a quote unquote gentleman.
Yeah.
And it was, you to be a good man, a good husband, a good father. It's about respect. It's about respect for the people around you, for yourself. It's really about caring about the person that you're with.
Right.
Corbin got me thinking, where are all the gentlemen?
That set the standard for me on a gentleman. And I think when we do talk about the word gentleman in and of itself, when you look it up, it talks about like chivalry. And the big question here is, do we think that it's kind of an outdated term?
With that said, I didn't think that it made too much sense for us to be the ones to answer what it means to be a gentleman because we're women. So I thought, what better way than to get an actual man in here that we've known, Hebrew Marcelin, to kind of just help us with this topic. Hebrew?
Hold your applause, everyone. Hold your applause.
It's holding.
No. Continue. What's going on, ladies? How are we doing today?
Good. How are you?
I mean, fabulous.
So, Hebrew,
Yes.
what does it mean to be a gentleman to you?
I feel like you can sum up being a gentleman in one word. Just being thoughtful. You know? Just
Thoughtful.
Yeah. Thoughtful.
That can have several different connotations. You want to just...
Well, I mean, because I feel like it's different for everybody. Because some people will say, oh, you know, open the door for me. Oh, you know, pay my phone bill. Oh, you know, or hey, go buy me a Gucci bag, or you know, so it varies from.
That sounds like a little
hanging
shade.
out with the wrong.
But that sounds like a little shade, though.
The wrong men.
What, would you consider yourself to be a gentleman?
Yes, I would.
Wow, you didn't hesitate.
I mean, I just.
Why?
Oh, that was bold.
That was very. My God.
No, I'm kidding. I just feel like I'm a really thoughtful person. You know, my love language is acts of service.
Ooh, okay.
You know? Y'all
Mine
check
too.
that out. Check it out.
Yes.
You know, so acts of service. So it's like, you know, I'm very thoughtful of the people around me. So I feel like I'm a gentleman.
So for you, it's not necessarily defined by certain actions, because I do think, especially if we're going to take this in the course of dating, there are things that I think people stereotypically say is gentlemanly, like paying for the bill,
Right.
opening doors. So for you, it's not limited to those ideas. It's just a matter of getting to know the person, seeing what they like, and then matching out accordingly.
Yeah, true. Because I feel like society has really shifted from. Because when you think of gentlemen, you think of like, you know, old like 1920s, 1930s,
Right.
like when they first started coining these kind of words or
Right.
what have you. And it's like times have really evolved from that. You know, like you look at the show like Modern Family or something where it's like it's not even like the standard subset of what like a home is supposed to look like. So
Yeah.
you know, I don't feel like you can still keep gentlemen in that same box that it used to be in.
What has 2018 done to the word gentleman?
I feel like it's really kind of like watered it down a bit, because it's like you have like this wave of feminism that is kind of interrupted it, where it's kind of like, oh hey, let me open your door for you. You ain't gotta hold my door. You know,
I'm independent.
I'm an independent woman. You ain't holding my door, boo boo.
We don't sound like...
Be like, you're not finna pull my chair out. I'm a grown woman. I got it.
So you think feminism has a lot to do with it?
A little, yeah.
Well, that's an interesting point, because I do have 3 brothers, and we talk about this a lot, where it is kind of like, with this strong sense now of being independent, whether you're a male or female, how do you find your place, in a sense, in a relationship? Because a lot of the time, I think when you think of gentlemen, you think of a lot of masculine traits.
Right.
So those might be, you know, being really courageous, or stepping up to the plate first, being able to protect. But some women want to fill those roles sometimes. And I think, too, the way that a lot of men are raised, or the way that some men are raised, they might not be the person changing the tire or into cars like that
who raised
anymore.
y'all? Who raised
So in
y'all?
that situation, it's kind of like, for those men in particular, how do they navigate through this new world?
Right.
And another question that I have is, you know, Instagram has changed the game. We're not like writing letters anymore, love letters.
Right.
How would you slide into my DMs as a gentleman?
Is that
I
even
don't
is
feel
that
like I
even
see
is that
that.
even
I don't see
gentlemanlike?
that.
Is that even gentlemanlike?
So now is it not gentlemanlike? Because I think that
slide in the DMs?
I think that times have changed how we communicate. You know, because before it's like, you know, you got to go out to like, you know, a bar or a club or like, you know, some social setting so that you can meet people, and then you approach them, you talk, you say small talk. Whereas like now everything is like at your thumbs. It's like you want to talk to somebody who's across the world, like boom, text message, got it, boom,
Right.
finished. Sliding into somebody's DMs is not that big of a deal. I feel like it's how.
I don't
No, I'm
know.
kidding,
I
I'm
don't know how I would receive that.
So okay, so if
you-
a young man slid into your DMs and he was just like,
young
and he was
man.
like, hello, my black queen,
Ooh!
how are you? You know,
No.
you
Hi,
wouldn't think
sir.
that would be respectful to be like, hello, beautiful queen.
It sounds like you have a testimony.
Oh,
I do have a
Speak.
testimony. I'm not trying to call anybody out.
What's their
Is
name?
there-
What's their name?
Come on now.
Nah,
Is
I
there
can't.
anyone?
So I am a DM slider, but it's not in the way you guys think. It's mainly how I just interact with people. So I don't notice that, you know, if I'm watching someone's stories, I'm responding to them, and then it turned into a DM. So then you just have a conversation. And also,
So you're a thirst trap queen.
No.
That's what it sounds like.
No, because a lot of jobs, like job opportunities, I've gotten through Instagram and through DMs.
Okay.
So for me, I do keep
Won't
in
he do it?
contact with
Come
a
on
lot
now.
of people through my DMs. But no, there was one time that someone just went straight to the point with what they wanted. It was like overly sexual. They didn't even say hi. They didn't even ask me how I was doing. And for me, that's not gentleman.
Okay, so you see, it's the approach.
It is the approach.
It is the
I'm not
approach.
mad at
So
the
it's not
DMs.
necessarily him sliding in the DMs.
No.
It's
The
just like,
content.
right,
Got it.
exactly.
I can feel
You know,
that.
he already, you know, Drake 0 to 100.
Real quick.
You know, back in the day, people used to send letters. I bet that happened. I bet that same type of thing happened where people sent letters and they were all heartfelt. You know, that's how we think of letters. Like, hi, beautiful, da-da-da. There was probably some, like, thirst trap letters, too. You just had to wait longer to
Can you
open
imagine
them.
a granny in like her little bloomers? She'll throw that little picture in the envelope and she'll be like, "Ooh, I'm about to mix him up with this."
How did she look the envelope?
You know?
So
She put like those little watermelon candies on the granny's got it.
I thought the episode was really cool where they brought on the two men from Imperfect Gentlemen.
Yeah.
Are people born gentlemen or gentlemen made? So I went to hang out with George and Tehran, who host a podcast called Imperfect Gentlemen, where every week they sit down to talk to different girls to understand how to become better men.
How do I, as a man, be good to you?
Well, remember when I'm like, call me back, you're like, K, and then you never call me back. You can start there.
I thought that was a really cool concept because they are receptive. I think sometimes when you think about a really masculine man, they're usually taking the lead. They're making a lot of the decisions in a relationship. But it's cool that in that podcast, these men are really receptive to women and what we kind of want out of our modern gentlemen. And I think that's what's most important, is having those conversations and feeling like you can be open with one another with what your needs are. And I think nowadays, if we are going to shift to a more, all of us can be independent, but we're choosing to have a life partner, or we're choosing to be in these relationships and we don't need someone.
Right.
It should be the conversation of what do I need and how can I help you? What do you need? Vice versa.
I agree, and I think the thing that stood out to me the most about the episode was the guys from the station were, you know, applauding and encouraging vulnerability. Vulnerability is probably the most masculine thing a man can be. I mean, if you have the ability to still be like a protector and still meet me where I am emotionally, like that to me is royalty. Like that is gold. And I don't think that men realize that. And I think that when they do, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? And I think the more that we, you know, verbalize that your vulnerability is what we want, what we need, then I think that's the quicker we can kind of esteem what being a gentleman really means.
Because I feel like everybody is, you know, raised different. You know, like your values are different.
I don't know
from your
who
values
raised
are
half
different.
y'all, but
Hey, but you know, so like you can't really say that there's like, you know, just one like list of golden rules of like, okay, well, a gentleman's gonna do X, Y, and Z, you know, A, B, C, 1, 2, 3, what have you, because like everybody has different needs.
Right.
So you know, I just feel like it's just a matter of you being thoughtful to who you're with at the time. You know, because you being a gentleman in this situation can differ from how you be a gentleman in that situation, then the next one, and the next one down the line. So
that's good.
I mean, I'm a little smart, y'all.
I want somebody.
So we would like to hear from you. Make sure you are following Gimme Mo on Facebook and Instagram with #GimmeMoAfterShow, because we do want to hear your thoughts. And also, disclaimer, this episode is on gentlemen. We are definitely aware that in today's climate there are a lot of different relationships. So if you guys do want to weigh in on a less traditional relationship and how you kind of navigate that, we'd love to hear about it as well in the comments below.
As always, thanks for watching the Gimme Mo After Show. Hey. Gimme Mo After Show. You got a little pop. Gimme Mo After Show. I'm Arini.
Kaija.
And our special guest,
T-Brew.
Thanks for watching. See you next time.
Give me more positivity. Give me more with that you and me. Give me